Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Carolina Snowflake Meetup Group event. Today, we'll be using Snowsight to visualize some data and exploring a little bit of the capabilities of Snowsight. For our meetup events, we ask that everyone is respectful of one another, goes on mute and uses the chat instead to ask questions, and try to keep them related to the topic as much as possible. Video is optional for everyone, and we hope that you will invite a friend or recommend us to somebody next time. And you can ping us on Twitter at DataLakehouse. So all of our meetups are recorded and are available on YouTube. And that channel link can be found in our discussion board on Meetup. Today, we will be covering a little bit of a Snowflake refresher, discussing Snowsight and some of its use cases, and visualizing data in Snowsight. And then we'll talk a little bit about our beta program, and we can have a little bit of a Q&A and talk about some upcoming events. And for our Snowflake refresher, I think Mike is going to be presenting.
Yeah, let's go to the next slide. So just a refresher of what is exactly Snowflake. For some of you who might be new to Snowflake or thinking about going on to Snowflake, or perhaps you're a seasoned veteran and you know lots and lots about Snowflake, which is great. And that's what this meetup is for all people and in various stages of their journey. But just as Heather mentioned, that refresher just around the data cloud. The data cloud is, as it says, it runs in any of the three popular publicly available clouds, Azure, Google, and AWS. And within there, it's a highly secure way to load your data into a centralized location. It's really all about loading your raw data in there. And then from there, you can go ahead and transform and manipulate the data as you see fit. And naturally, as part of that manipulation, you're going to have different user groups that are going to need different access to data. Some of that is data scientists will need access to the raw data or close to raw. And then you have your enterprise users that might be consuming the data in Snowflake via an analytic tool such as Looker or Power BI or Tableau. But you need to govern that data, especially when you think of HIPAA and PII. And then at the same time, these different user groups, you want to control what sort of end user experience that they have from performance and the type and the amount of data that they see. Next slide, please. So when you think of the different areas as to what is Snowflake solve, we talked about some of those different use cases, from your executive user group to your data scientists to your end user community, and really everything in between. And so as much as you land your raw data into Snowflake, you're going to transform that either through ETL or perhaps you're even using Spark and some other technologies. And then you're going to want to segment that data into the appropriate consumption. So you're going to be putting it into data models. You might be building out a data vault into your dimensional model. Or you may just be having large data pools that you're using and having an audience connect to. Next slide. All right, so Anupam.
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, a little quiet. So I don't know if you're able to turn off your mic, or maybe it's just, or turn up your mic, or maybe it's just me.
Yep, better. Is it better now?
Yes, very good.
Okay. Hi everyone. So taking it forward from Mike. Just a quick explanation of what Snowsight is all about and what's the real value add of having Snowsight in your entire architecture. I think it's a great tool to kind of visualize your data from the existing Snowflake's architecture onto some form of a UI, some form of a easy to run and load UI without having to invest too much in any other external UI like a Tableau or a Looker or a Power BI and so on. And even though it has its own limitations, but it also is a great tool if you want to quickly spin up something, look at your data, and then kind of visualize things then and there itself. So just like any UI tool, you have the features of a dashboard on Snowsight, where you can bring up various different charts based on the kind of data you have. And I think right after this slide, Heather will give a quick demonstration. Heather, can you pull up the Snowsight dashboard that we have for today's demonstration?
Yep, I'll just bring it over onto the screen here.
So I think one quick way to kind of access Snowsight is once you log into Snowflake, Heather, is it possible for you to open a sandbox system on the site, our normal Snowflake sandbox system? Yeah. So if you click on Classic Console, can you click over there? The Classic Console left down. Yeah.
Sorry guys, my internet is a little bit slow today.
So that's the normal Classic Console access that you have on Snowflake. And once you log into the system, so yeah, if you just hover to the top right corner, yeah, over there you see Snowsight, and that's one of the ways to access Snowsight. And once you click on that, it takes you to another console. And then if you go to dashboards on the left, click on Snowflake usage meetup. And then as you see, this way you can access your dashboards that you've created. If you see on the right top, you have something which people with Snowflake might be very familiar with, which is a context menu, where you can go and choose the role of the user. And then you can choose the warehouse where you want to kind of execute your queries on. So what we've done is we've created few sample dashboards, and then we'll show you for one of them what the underlying structure looks like. So Heather, for the one, which is the top 5 warehouse by computation cost on the right, can you just go deeper into it? Yeah, the 3 dots, the edit query, view chart, edit query. Yeah, can you just pull this down, Heather? If you just click on query on the left, query just next to results. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so can you just pull this down, Heather? This, yeah. So guys, if you see, this is where you can place your query. On the left, you can choose your database and your schema from where you expect to pull your data. And this is like your normal Snowflake query, SQL query that you have. You can paste it here once you're done with that. And if you click on the play button, Heather, can you click on the play button on the right? That's where you execute your query. And then what gives you by default is the results table here, which is the output of your query. And then what's interesting is on the right, if you see, you have like quick descriptive statistics, which gives you some form of idea of what your data looks like. So if you go down, it gives you a quick distribution of what the data of your column is, and so on. So for each column, you have some form of graph presentation here. That's just to get an idea of what the data might look like. If it has a normal distribution or any distribution, that's to get a good feel of the data and so on. If you click on chart, Heather, on chart just next to results, if you click on chart, yeah. And that's where you can see the kind of chart you want to pull. So for example, on the right, if you see, you have various options. As chart type, you have the bar chart. Heather, can you just go on drop down? So you can choose a line chart, bar, scatter plot, and so on. And if you go down in data, you can choose the kind of columns you want. You can specify if you want which column as the x-axis and which column as the y-axis and so on. And if you go down here, you can even choose whether you want a horizontal bar chart or a vertical bar chart in orientation. You can choose a grouping, whether you want a stacked or a normal bar chart in a grouping, and so on. So even though it has its limitation in terms of how much you can achieve on the user interface, but it's a great way to kind of quickly spin something up and then have something ready for your presentations and for your analysis and so on. So I think that is what we want to cover from a dashboard Snowsight standpoint. But I think before we go ahead, if anyone has any questions, we can take that now on the chat window. Otherwise, Heather, we can continue. Yeah, and there's one way which I forgot to discuss is about the share. So one important thing is that you can share your dashboards with other users from the Snowflake instance. So people who have accounts in the same Snowflake instance can also access, edit, or view and run your dashboard. I think, Heather, if you have no questions, then back to you.
All righty.
Well, Heather, before we get going, I just wanted to just maybe level set just real quick in regards to Snowsight that Snowsight isn't meant to be a replacement for your Power BI, your Looker, Tableau analytic tool. It's really just to visualize almost in a very raw format of what does your data look like, and you get some additional insights. But from the number of various features, you shouldn't say, oh, I can do this in Tableau, therefore I should be able to do this in Snowsight. You shouldn't make that leap. Obviously, over time, more and more capabilities will be added to Snowsight by Snowflake. Just going in with that understanding is very important. It'll help you get the most out of Snowsight.
Just getting our presentation back up again. All right. So we encourage you guys to, if you haven't yet, start using the Snowsight to quickly spin up some graphs and charts that you can use to help make business decisions pretty quickly. And it's included in your Snowflake subscription, so it's not anything extra. And you can always let us know if you have any questions or need assistance using Snowsight. And we are AICG, the developers of the DataLakehouse platform. DataLakehouse is a ELT tool. It has built-in analytics for all kinds of great sources, a data catalog feature, and there's no code needed, so it's pretty cool. We encourage you to check out our site. And we've actually got Snowflake usage analytics that we offer embedded, and you can check those out on our site as well. Right now, we are running an open beta program where you can sign up for free and get some cool swag, as well as access to the platform, which is pretty cool. It includes all of these things here. The data catalog, you get 10 million rows a month with Snowflake as a target, and it's an open source software. And if you go to our site, datalakehouse.io/beta, you will see this form here, and you can quickly fill that out and you'll get some next steps sent to your email if anybody's interested in signing up for our open beta program. Oops. Apparently it's linked in the presentation. It doesn't want to go to the next slide. Scared to click again. Let me pause this real quick and go back. All right, so if anybody has any questions, we would be happy to answer them right now. All right. Well, if you have questions when you start working in Snowsight, please feel free to ping us on Twitter or send us an email, or just a message on the Meetup group would be fine too.
Yeah, and that goes for any Snowflake related questions. We're always happy to help out.
Absolutely.
And point you in the right direction. You know, all consultations are free, and you know, no worries. We'll make sure you're headed on a happy path, and we'll work together with you.
All right, so our next event coming up, we'll be using Streamlit to visualize data, and kind of comparing and contrasting how it works with in comparison to Snowsight and maybe some other visualization tools. Also, we will be at Snowflake Summit, so if you are going, we would love to meet up for coffee or possibly more. You can let us know in the chat window or connect with us. And this is Mike's email right here. And you can always send us something in the discussion board on the Meetup group as well. You know what? We need to post something on there like this. That way everyone can see it. And that is the end of today's event. Thank you guys so much for coming, and we hope to see you at our next event on June 27th, where we'll be going over using Streamlit to visualize data.